Hi everyone, I'm currently working on my next blanket and I wanted to show everybody how to start off and how to do all the colour changes. This blanket will be a dinosaur themed and it is 140 stitches by 156 rows high. Each colour change is 6 rows high and it coincides with the border of your boxes, which makes it easier when it comes to the colour changes, which you'll see in a second. So to start off with, you want to chain 141, which if you think about it, if you're right-handed obviously, that's working that way. So you chain 141 and then you want to start working back that way. So you go that way, and then you go this way, and then back and forth, and for 6 rows for the brown, and then 6 rows for the green, 6 rows for the brown. I have got another graph which has each stitch marked out in squares, which I will share a portion of that until you get the repeats. But for this video I thought it would be easier just to show you your 60 stitches, then your 8 stitches, which is your border, 34 and 8, and then you do your 30 brown again. So let's get started. First off, I've already changed my 141. Your chain 2 at the beginning counts as a stitch. So I'll zoom in a wee bit. Right, so your chain 2 there, and then go into the 3rd chain from the hook. And as you can see, you've got your chain 2 and then your half double crochet. So that's 2 stitches already. So if we're doing the first 60 stitches there, we need to do another 58 half double crochets in the light brown. And I'll do this now. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I think what I'll do is I'll just meet you back at the end of the 60 stitches and show you how to change over to brown. Right, so now I have done 59 half double crochet in the light brown, and I want to do one more stitch in the light brown and then join my dark brown. But the easiest way I've found to join another colour, I should say, is, if I zoom in here, if you do half your stitch, so yarn over, insert hook into your stitch, yarn over, pull through, and you'll have 3 loops on your hook. So instead of pulling the light brown through those loops, you want to take your dark brown and pull that through those loops instead. Just like that. So that completes your 60th stitch and gets you ready to start with your dark brown. Now as we can see from our graph, we need to do 8 for the border, 34 and then 8. So if we count those out, do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we want to do 34 stitches again in the dark brown. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I think once again what I'll do is I'll meet you at the end because you don't want to sit here and watch me crochet another 24 stitches. Right, so I've done my 34 of the dark brown, which is that one right, move my paper up, right there. And now we're moving on to 8 half double crochet. We will finish halfway through the 8th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now don't pull through those 3 loops, just leave it until, leave it and we'll pull through our light brown again. Now I will have 3 balls of wool attached to my blanket because I don't like carrying the yarn all the way over all those stitches. Like if it was less stitches then maybe I would, but it's back and forths and it's just easier for me to attach another ball of yarn, and I will show you an easy way not to get them tangled when we turn. Right, so I've got my other ball of light brown yarn, and I'm just going to simply do what I did before and pull that through those 3 loops, and that'll complete that stitch. Now as you can see from our chart here, you want to crochet another 30 half double crochet in the brown. So I will do that now, and once I've done a few stitches I will just see you at the end. 3, 4. Right, so now once you've done your 30 half double crochet in the light brown, you want to chain 2 and turn your work. Now in order to do this without tangling up your 3 balls of wool, you need to chain 2, turn your blanket, well ours is only a few rows at the moment, so that's the back. Bring this ball of wool over with you because you're now working along that way. Bring the brown ball of wool over with you and leave that piece over there. And as you can see, they are not tangled. And if you continue to do that throughout the blanket, you should be able to get away with using bigger balls of wool rather than having to wind smaller pieces at a time. So now we're on our 2nd row, and we will be working back this way and so on until we have done 6 rows. So I'm not going to show you your 2nd row, but I will show you what the first section looks like completed up until there. Right, so here is the first section of the blanket, and as you can see we have our 30 rows over here, well our 30 half double crochet, then we have our 8, then we have our 34, and then our 8 again, and then our 60 stitches on this one. Now I'm just about to start the brown section. So I thought I'd show you with all the colour changes. Right, so for these next 6 rows, well actually it would be 24 rows, you will have 5 balls of wool attached to your blanket. I know that sounds like a lot, but if you followed the way that I turned everything before, you shouldn't get tangled. And just check after every row, because once you get tangled, it's a long way back from that. And it'll just make you frustrated and not want to try another graph blanket. Right, so here's where I finished off with the green. And now I want to join the light brown in that stitch. Get rid of that tail. Now there will be a lot of tails doing this blanket, but I'm sure it's probably about the same amount as when you have to join all the squares and the borders and all that stuff on the other blankets anyway, so it's not too bad. And now you want to turn your blanket. So remember, bring this ball of wool with you. Now once you've turned your blanket, and we'll get rid of all these stringy pieces, you want to half double crochet across the next 60 stitches, and then we will join our, well, we will pick up, because it's already attached to the blanket, our dark brown. So I'll do that and then I'll meet you at the dark brown. Right, so I'm halfway through my 60th stitch of the light brown, and I need to pick up, because it's already attached, my dark brown. And pull your light brown so that your stitch is not as loose as it was, just as mine was just before. Now you want to, if we have a look at our chart here, we're up to this part here in the light brown, and we want to do our first row of 6, and we want to do 8 half double crochet of dark brown for the border, 34 white, 8 dark brown, and then 30 light brown. And we want to repeat this 6 times back and forth. And then we will move on to our green, but I won't show you that part. So pretty much what I was showing you before was the first row. And as you can see, that's pretty much it's just repeated all the way up. Every 6 rows will be something different, and you'll be required to change colours. But if you get the first part, if you've got the colour changes down, you should be alright. You'll just follow the stitches and how they work. So, you know, change to green, change to light brown, green, light brown, green. Remember to change from white to the dark brown for that border piece. It's actually, yeah, it'll be pretty simple once you get the hang of it, and just avoid tangling those balls of yarn. That's the main thing that you should be concerned about, because as I said, once you've tangled them, it's a lot of untangling sometimes, and it's actually really frustrating. So just remember to rotate them as you turn your piece. Right, so I'll show you the colour changes for the next row. And then I think if you have any questions, just come back, ask me a question in the comment box, and I'll see what I can do. Right, so we've joined our dark brown, and we want to do 8 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now remember, because that is the last stitch in that section, you only want to go halfway. You don't want to pull through because you want to save that for joining the white. And then you want to do 34 half double crochets of the white. So we want to grab our white, find the end, and remember to keep your brown on the other side. It's kind of a small space while I'm videoing. It doesn't look this complicated when I have all the room. So you want to pull that through and make sure that you pull that brown tight again just to tighten up that stitch. That one a bit too tight. Now you want a half double crochet into the next 34 stitches. 2, and once again I'll meet you at the end so you don't have to watch all of that. Right, so once you've done 34 of the white and you're halfway through your 34th half double crochet, you want to join another ball of your brown. Now, as I mentioned previously, I don't carry the brown across because one, you'd probably end up seeing it through the white and it would just look messy. You know, there's more chance that little fingers and toes and stuff will get caught in the little loops when you're carrying it. So I'd rather work with 5 balls of yarn than risk that. So once again, I will join my dark brown and I will do 8 half double crochets to move across to where I want to join my light brown. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now remember, don't go all the way through that stitch. And now I need to join my light brown. And I can grab the end. Got him. Right, so you grab that, pull through. Oh, where have I gone? That one needs to come over to hold that. Actually pull that dark brown a little bit tighter to get that stitch looking nice. And now we want to half double crochet in the next, as you can see we are over here now. So we want to half double crochet into the next 30 stitches across. And I will meet you at the end. Right, so that's that row complete. And as you can see in the chart again, now we've just worked that way. We did 60 stitches first. We are coming back this way. So you'll do 30 light brown, 8 dark brown, 34 white, and 8 dark brown, and then 60 light brown. Right, I'll show you again how we turn without getting a massive tangle. So you can see my 5 balls here. So you want to chain 2, and then you want to turn your entire blanket around. But before you start crocheting, you want to move your balls of wool. So you take this one over and put them over here. Then your dark brown over, put them over here. White over, put over here. Dark brown, where is he? See, he's still caught under the blanket. He needs to come over here, and then your last light brown over here. And now they're all lined up in the correct order, and you'll simply work across again. So you'll do your 30, 8, 34, 8, 60. And simply repeating that will get you your blanket. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I will try and answer them the best I can.